2019.
Okay. Good. Nowadays, there are many jobs online. YouTubers who are talking about whatever they want. Kids that are 18 years old are making a lot of money. Even kids are making a lot of money, and they are talking about toys, games. YouTubers as me, like I'm talking about Mexico. There are different topics, and the most interesting part is that people are watching. People are watching, and they are making a lot of money. So I want to talk about that today, and if it's good or bad, and as well how can you start making money online. So welcome to this live stream. This is going to be very interesting. Welcome, Dave, to this live stream.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thank you. I invited you to this live stream because you have quite a lot of experience working as a digital nomad, and I would like to hear your experience in this video.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Whatever you need.
Okay, excellent. So if you're watching this video later, stay until the end of this video, because we're going to talk about a lot of different jobs, not just a YouTuber. How can you start? And we're going to talk about our journey, but the downsides too. So, okay, let's start. Okay, well, Dave, how is it incredible? It's incredible the many jobs that exist online. Especially, I was talking about YouTube. There are a lot of content creators talking about topics that you don't even imagine that exist, and there's a lot of people watching.
Well, yeah, I'm sure if you spoke to yourself 5 years ago, would you have imagined that you would be working online now, doing what you do?
Definitely not. That sounded scary for me. It's like impossible. I remember that I would look at like, no, it's impossible. Like those who are making money on YouTube, especially, are people are aliens, something like that. So that was I was thinking before. And what about you?
Well, I suppose I always liked the idea of working from home, and working for being able to find jobs like for companies all over the world, and not being limited to where I'm living at the moment. And fortunately, that's the case now, and it's something that obviously some people have been doing for a long time, but
yes.
But recently there's a lot more sort of opportunities, and it's becoming more realistic, and we've met a lot of people who are able to work online in all sorts of different different industries, different areas of work and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's very impressive, the people who started very early, because those were the ones, probably you were doing the same actually. You were teaching English for a long time, and you were traveling around the world because that's what you wanted. But you weren't working online. You were working in schools in those countries.
Yeah. So I was interested in languages. It wasn't just about traveling, but for a long time and it still is a very viable career, which will allow you to live and work in a lot of different places. Is teaching English as a foreign language, and I did that for several years, and I had the opportunity to live and work in different countries. And that's still something that a lot of people do. There's still a lot of opportunities involved. It's a very interesting career, but now it seems that there's a lot more ways that you can achieve the same thing. Even if you're not interested in teaching, you can you can live and work in a different country. But I think there are some disadvantages to doing it this way, like as a digital nomad, and I think we'll talk about that a little bit later on.
We're going to talk about that a little bit, because there's a lot of paradigms. That's the
paradigms.
Word. Paradigms, stereotypes that working as a digital nomad is the best thing that you can do, because you can be traveling at the same time. But now that I've been working like that, I don't think, I mean, there are some downsides, right? And we want to, yes, you're right, we're going to talk about that later, but let's start about talking about especially YouTube nowadays. I would love to talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
So there's a lot of YouTubers who are creating content about, I remember Jason, the YouTuber who came to Querétaro. He was telling us that he has another YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
Where he went viral doing the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Right? What was it about? Because you have the vocabulary, I don't have it.
It was about knots, just tying different knots. And he had, I don't know, he had a lot of subscribers, like 100,000 subscribers or something like that. And, you know, he's an outdoorsy kind of guy. And so he knows a lot about that stuff. And he said he made a video about a certain type of knot, and it became really popular. And yeah, I think he makes good money off that channel.
Yes.
So yeah, he made his own channel just for knots, and then he says he prefers making videos, sort of more personal videos about his life and his travels and stuff. But for some reason, it's the knots that have taken off more so.
I didn't know there were many ways to do knots.
No, well, yeah.
It's interesting. So things like that. He focused on a very specific niche. That's a word. And then I see people who are watching others YouTubers or situations or a video of a specific country, and what's the word? I already forgot the word. And they just talk about the video that they
like
watch.
the reaction videos.
Reaction video. And I remember that at the beginning, when those videos started to be popular, I thought, that is dumb. That I don't want to do that. Who is going to watch that? And then, as time went by, I started to think, I should start doing that.
You haven't done it yet, though.
I haven't done it. And there's a lot of public, and also from a point of view of a person who's creating content, I would say that is the easiest way where you can start making a YouTube channel, probably. What do you think?
I don't know. Well, you never know, do you? It's very unpredictable.
It's very
on YouTube, and even that requires quite a lot of editing. I mean, you could just film yourself.
And talking about that, a lot of people say, "Oh, I want to be a YouTuber." Because that's easy, that you just record yourself and then you upload a video, and then you just record yourself and then you upload a video. Why do YouTubers take so long to upload a video if you can do it in 20 minutes and then you can do another one and another one? What do you think about that? Have you learned something now that you've been that you're married?
Well, yeah, it's a lot of work.
With a YouTuber.
Yeah. It's a lot of work. So what do you think? Do you think that YouTube is a good way to make money online?
Oh, that's a good question. I think you already said it. It's very unpredictable. You cannot rely on YouTube. It's not like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber because I want to have a lot of money. Definitely not. It depends a lot on the algorithm. Of course, if you are good at what you do, at some point, people are going to discover you. That public is going to help you too. It's going to help the algorithm, and then you are going to start to climb another step and another step. But actually, no, that is not a good way to make money. You need you need to have another source of income, definitely. Right?
Well, I mean, if things are going well, then no. I mean, a lot of people are able to live off it, but a lot more aren't able to live off it.
No, definitely not. And then a lot of people have this dream that I want to be a YouTuber and then all my problems are going to be solved. It's not. It's not that way. And then if you become, let's say, viral, famous, a lot of people are watching your YouTube, your videos, that is not guaranteeing, what's the word? Guaranteeing anything.
That doesn't guarantee anything.
That doesn't guarantee anything, because today you can be famous and tomorrow people are going to get bored. And that's how it works actually, YouTube. People are always looking, okay, I like this, but I like this person, okay, I don't like this anymore. So that's when the problem come.
Okay, so you've been working online for a while. When did you start working online?
In 2019, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. And why did you start working online? How did that start to happen?
Well, it was it was because of the situation, the situation that we were facing. Basically, we were facing.
Which situation is that?
When we went to Vietnam. We went to Vietnam because this is interesting. We went to Vietnam. We were working here in Querétaro, Mexico. Both of us. You were working in a school and teaching online as well.
I was, yeah.
For many hours a day, and I was working the same time, I think, too. So fortunately, you get offered a job to go to, well, at the beginning to China, but for different reasons that I'm not going to talk about those reasons because it gets longer, we ended up going to Vietnam. But the reason of why I decided to quit my job and go with you was because the amount of money that you did in Vietnam covered the 2 jobs that we used to do here in Querétaro.
Yeah.
So of course it was another place, another country. We were going to have a great experience. So that was the reason. But then when we arrived to Vietnam, I started to get bored. Okay, and it was a little bit depressing, because you kind of want to be surrounded by a community if you're in a foreign country. So I started to look. I even remember that I taught English in Vietnam to kids. That was
Briefly.
it was awful. awful. That's a story for another time. But I also tried to teach Spanish in schools in Vietnam, and nobody called me. So I remember you said, why don't you try online? And I was like, are you crazy? Are you insane? How can I work online? And then you talked me about this platform called italki, where it's a platform where people from all over the world actually can just join, and then you can they can say, okay, I'm here because I'm gonna be a tutor. You can practice with me my native language or the language that I speak, and then I'm gonna get paid. That's it. That's one way, and the other way is I'm a professional teacher. So if you want to book a class with me, I'm going to give you the class. So I started that way. I was a tutor. Thanks to that, I developed a lot of skills teaching Spanish. Quite a lot. I was very popular on italki. And I didn't tell them I was a YouTuber or something like that. So that's how I started.
Okay.
What about you?
I'll keep asking, but we've got a couple of questions.
Okay,
so.
hi people, how are you? Thank you for being here.
Okay, David says, would being an online worker be better in Vietnam or Mexico? Would the average online gig worker be able to live better in Vietnam or Mexico? What do you think?
Can you, sorry.
Which is a better country to work online in, Vietnam or Mexico?
To work online? I don't know, it depends on many factors. Oh, that's a good question. Well, in the real life, I think I don't feel any difference. I mean, you can work online. The internet connection is great in both countries. Actually,
Well,
I think
much better in Vietnam.
much better in Vietnam, definitely. It's easy. It's we didn't have any problem except that we found complicated the visa. Renewing the visa, it was getting very expensive because we were there in COVID times. So they were kind of, I don't know if that's the correct word, taking advantage of foreigners who.
Well, yeah, well, they were.
I don't know.
It's always going to be more complicated in Vietnam because you have to. Your only option is a tourist visa. So if you're talking about visas, and Vietnam is going to be more complicated, and then every 3 months you need to renew it, or you need to leave the country, or something like that. And in Mexico, like a lot of people do this on a tourist visa, but it's possible to be able to prove your income and get a work permit and do everything above board, which is, well, I get my visa because we're married, but that would be another option if we weren't married for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Vietnam's a bit cheaper, so obviously, so if you're earning the same amount of money in both countries, it's probably that's an advantage for Vietnam.
Vietnam, yeah.
The time zone is probably a big issue. Like if you're working for North American companies, then Mexico is obviously a lot closer in terms of time. So yeah, there's a lot of different things, but
depends on what you want to do or on what you're doing. So actually, talking about Vietnam and the situation over there, I think it's very important, or I would like to hear your experience and that you tell our audience. You became a digital nomad in Vietnam.
Well, sort of. Because I've been teaching online when we were still in Mexico. I don't think it's legal anymore, but when you were able to teach the Chinese children early in the morning, and we were able to earn dollars, and it was fantastic while it lasted. It was very tiring, but so that was when I first started working online, and that seemed great because the money was like a lot more than I was earning teaching here. But I was able to live in Mexico, and this was like, wow, this is the future. I'm able to teach kids in China and earn dollars.
Yeah, so. I remember when you said that this is the future. It's going to be like that.
I can't believe this. This is amazing because it seemed like a lot of money.
For me, it was a lot of money.
Yeah.
More when in Mexico, if you are a Mexican or if you get paid Mexican salary, you don't get paid by hour. You get paid by day, and it's the minimum salary is $5, $6, $7 now.
It's more now. It's about $7, and it's going up again soon.
And then you get paid at that time.
I was making about $25 an hour.
And for me I was what?
I did 4 hours in the morning, and then I'd go to work for the day. So
it was very.
It seemed
tiring.
It was very, very tiring. Yeah, but it was. But that was the first time that I'd worked online. I was like, well, this is amazing. I can earn dollars and live in Mexico, and I don't sleep very much. Yeah.
Just give me a second.
Okay.
I would love to read this comment. I mean, thank you very much, guys, for your very, very nice comments. Thank you for your support. I know that we have a very amazing community, and that we felt very flattered that you are here. But I just want to read this comment. It says, "Go back to your country. You have been warned."
Yeah, I need to.
Oh my God! I suppose it's you.
I don't know. It could be you. They don't know that we're in Mexico. I don't reckon it could be. But you are in your country. So
I'm in my country. So you've been warned. Why? Why are you so mad? Wow, what did I did? What did I do, or what did you do?
I don't know. I'm not too bothered.
Okay. Let's continue. But you can answer, airport atheist. Why are you so mad? Okay. Sorry. Let's continue.
I don't know. What was I talking about?
About how was when you were working with the kids? The salary.
Yeah, it seemed really good. I think I was earning twice as much in the morning that I would earn in the rest of the day. And yeah, now that we know loads of people who are doing, well, not teaching the Chinese kids because that's not available, but a lot of people teaching online, earning dollars, or doing other things.
Actually, sorry, I would love. I just now that you're mentioning that, if there are people here who want to share their experience, what kind of job you're doing online, it would be very interesting to read it, and so we can share it to everybody. So.
So now it's something that's normal that a lot of people are doing, but it seemed like amazing at the time. So it's weird how things turn out.
And then you went to Vietnam because you were offered a job teaching in a school.
Yes.
Which I remember it was a very good offer at that time.
It was a good offer. Yeah, it was good money. They paid for the flights and visas and everything. And so yeah, it was a good job.
So why did you quit then?
It wasn't a very nice job. It was good in terms of money, but it wasn't very enjoyable. And I could see you were already teaching online by then, and you were teaching adults. And obviously, like, teaching adults is a bit more interesting than teaching like 4-year-olds. So you were just sort of chatting with Americans, with people from different countries.
With jealousy.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm having a lot of fun.
I was having to go to the school and deal with like classrooms full of kids who weren't very motivated. So I said, I think I'm going to work online. I think that's probably better. And then I set up an italki account as well, and yeah, I did pretty well out of it as well. I think I didn't do it for too long, but yeah, I did. It definitely made enough to live off. So.
Okay, and then how did you end? Now you have a very, very different job. That's so interesting in many ways, because there are a lot of people here, and this is something that I want to talk about in this live stream too. There are a lot of people who say this working online is not for me because I don't have the skills. I don't know anything. I can't do it because that's just for young people, something like that. And there's a lot of insecurities that we have, that people have, and they just say no, and they just close their mind and they don't even try. And this is actually worrying. I'm gonna say worrying, because nowadays we can learn online whatever we want for free. And tell us about your new job.
Well, actually, I think this is an interesting comment that I'll mention here, and then we'll go on to. Agui Nura says, I think as a mother of a toddler, it would be very difficult to do something like teaching online, needing to have blocks of time with no interruptions.
Oh, well, that's true.
That's definitely true. Yeah.
That's true. That's something. Well, you're touching another important topic that not many people talk about. It's like being a mother, work just you and your toddler. How do you do that, right? It seems to me it's not impossible, but you have another person to worry about.
Different priorities.
Different
obviously,
priorities.
Like, if something goes wrong at work, but you need to do something with your child, then your work's not going to take priority in that situation. So
exactly. So your mind is not focused too.
Well, I mean, we can't speak to them, but it must be more difficult. They have, a lot of people have a lot more to think about than we do on a daily basis. So, but there's still people who are doing it. I don't know about teaching. It's probably a good point, but there's
teaching will be difficult.
Plenty of opportunities out there. If anybody is responsible for a child and also managing to work online, then It would be really interesting to hear how you get on with that, and how you find the time and balance priorities and stuff.
And we actually we're going to talk about different jobs that people can do. So maybe that can be another thing that might help people in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so let's continue. We were talking about.
Yeah. You asked me about what I'm doing now for a living.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've been studying programming as a hobby for a long time, and when I quit my job to work online like you, it was just as the pandemic started, and I was getting teaching work, but there wasn't anything to do. We were stuck in Vietnam, so I started selling, offering my services on Upwork, which I know David asked about above. And I started to make money from it. So I started to do it more, and then as you do more, you learn more, and then it didn't take very long before I was making more money programming than I was teaching. So as much as I like teaching, I don't do it anymore because it's difficult to justify, if you can make more money doing something else.
Sorry, before you continue you continue, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that you need to take a course, you need to learn enough to be able to find a job that you like?
Well, no, I don't think you need to take well, it depends. If you're like a doctor or something, that you need recognized qualifications, and you would hope that your doctors are qualified and things like that. So I can't talk for every career, but certainly there's a lot of things that you can teach yourself for free with resources which are online. Pretty much anything, as long as your industry doesn't require a specific qualification. I know we're planning to talk about a few different kind of options and industries where it's common for people to work online, and all of these are things that anybody with the time and the inclination could learn for free, pretty much. Yeah. And that was my case with programming. I mean, it takes some time, but yeah, if you can teach yourself a useful skill that other people need, then there's a job for you somewhere. Somebody will pay you for it.
And it's interesting because if somebody believes in you and you don't really know the job that it's the first time that you are going to do that the person is asking. I would say yes all the time. Yes, I'm going to do it because we have the time to do some research and find ways to do it.
Yeah, just anything like. Well, we'll talk about this a little bit later. Different skills that you kind of pick up as you go along, but you can't be afraid to look something up and spend some time to research things, and once you know it, then it's another thing that you can offer, that you can sell, that you can makes your time more valuable.
Yes. Should we read some
comments?
Let's
read some of the comments. Do you want to go? Or?
Show me here because I don't see on the screen very well.
Okay. David's been helping Agua Nube. He says that anything is possible. There are 2 people on his team with toddlers, and it's a matter of communicating your priorities and stuff. So, yeah. Obviously, the people who are hiring you, or the people who are employing you, they also have responsibilities. So, we're all human. So we want to work together in the best way. So
yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
Okay. Do you want to read another one?
Here we go. What types of certificates are accessible to prepare people for online jobs?
Interesting question.
That is an interesting question.
Okay. I don't want to talk for other people, but we have been talking to many people who work online, and almost the majority say the same. I just read something. I do it because I like, and then I was hired, and then I did my job very well, and then I got hired again for another person, and I did it very well, and then I'm working in that, and then I have a lot of clients, and I don't have any certification. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you don't think the same way that I think, But nowadays, I don't think you need I don't think that you necessarily need a certificate to that says that you are a good person, that you have skills. Many people have are certificated and do a good job. Of course, that's something that helps, but that doesn't mean that people that don't have a certification don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you do. You did take a course to be able to teach as a professional teacher, and obviously I've done similar courses for being a teacher, and that opens up more opportunities if I wanted to take them. But yeah, I think a lot more nowadays, or it's becoming less important in a lot of industries, because, for example, with italki, you need the qualification, but the most important thing is like your reviews from your students. The same with Upwork. You know, you can say I've got a degree, but you know, at the same time, if other people are saying like this person, I hired this person, they did a good job, then that's been plenty enough for me. I don't have any official qualifications programming, but now I've been doing it for long enough that I've got lots of examples of my work, and I just say, well, I did this, so you know, if that's good enough for you, then
that's the proof, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What have you done? Obviously, at the beginning, it's going to be difficult, but somebody is going to be wanting your services, so it's not impossible. So, do we have any other question, or do we talk about?
No, we've got a lot actually.
Okay,
a lot of
so
questions.
let's answer a couple.
Brandon's asking me, is programming more fun than teaching?
Okay.
That's a good question. I don't know. They're both fun in very different ways. I think probably a lot of people would say programming isn't fun, but I like it. So.
Programming isn't fun.
Both can also be very stressful in different ways. So yeah, I think they're both jobs that I enjoy, but one's more lucrative than the other. So that's why I spend the time the way I do.
And you really enjoy it, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy both, so that's it. Okay. What is your opinion? I don't think we know anybody who does this actually, but I know it's quite common now.
Okay.
What is your opinion on customer service phone jobs?
Customer service, what?
Phone jobs.
Phone jobs.
Mm-hmm. So people. The Venezuelan guy that we met. He was doing that, wasn't he, for the US?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, but I don't really know.
So, like, when you, for example, you need to call Telmex because the internet isn't working.
Yeah, I know what's for customer service, but I don't think I don't have a thought about that. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a good candidate for working online. Probably you can do it as well at home as anywhere else. I don't know what the pay would be like, because
that's my question. Is it a good pay or not?
I don't know. It's
depends.
It's probably like a lot of things. Like if you
there are
if
people
you live
who have to do it, right?
Yeah, and I don't know. It'd be interesting to hear if anybody in the chat's got an experience with that. What kind of what it's like. I just know that it exists, but
yeah, we don't know really.
No, we've not. It's a good suggestion, because we meet a lot of people who work online, but I think we've only met one person who does that.
And we didn't. He didn't say too much. Okay, so what else? One more, and then we continue to make it.
Okay. So David's saying that he works in programming as well. He does financial modifying. Financial modeling for a bank. He's got another question. Any resources you'd recommend for getting started on Upwork? No, just create an account and set your price fairly low to start, because it's very difficult at the start. You remember I was getting
very frustrated.
Because I wasn't able to get any work. I didn't have any reviews or anything, but But as soon as you get the first couple of reviews, then it became
Easier
very
and
yeah.
easier.
It became. I went from having no work to having far too much work very quickly. So.
And then, and don't be scared if you set your price low. That's the way you have to start. And there are people who want to pay that, because there are a lot of people with experience charging a lot of money, but there are also people creating with businesses who are not going to pay that amount of money because their business doesn't allow them to spend that amount of money. And they are always looking for people who can do a good job with a very, let's say, low salary. If that doesn't sound bad, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Obviously, you should charge what you're worth, and you don't want to be giving away your skills. But it's a market with people looking for different price ranges and stuff, and unfortunately, it's the reviews are very important. So you might have to work for cheaper at the start just to get the first few reviews in, and then it's quite easy to raise rates.
Yeah. So should we talk about the different jobs right now?
Well, there's a question here from Joker, and he's mentioning something that we wanted to discuss anyway. He says, how hard was it to establish an e-commerce business, which is what yours is, and is it difficult to run the business once it gets going? So for those who don't know, Karen has an online Spanish learning platform, which is growing every day. We're very proud of it. But it's a new business that when did you start Thrive in Spanish?
I think the first trial was December last year.
So it's been going for less than a year.
Yes.
Would you like to explain the process? Because people want to sell services, people want to sell products online. So what's your experience been with that?
There's a lot of things that I didn't consider, and I think this is very related to the different jobs that you can do online. I started very, very simple, and actually this is the way that people should start a business. Very, very simple, because otherwise if they think of all the things that are going to come, you are going to get stressed. So it doesn't need to be perfect at the beginning. So I started just with a few people. I remember 4 people taking. I was teaching them a course. Thank you very much, guys. If you are here and you took the course, thank you, guys. Truly, thank you. And I took advantage to learn if that was a good course or not. So I basically had a course. It was a Spanish course. So then all of a sudden I said, okay, I'm gonna create 5 other courses, and then I'm going to start telling people to book my courses. The advantage that I had is that I already had a YouTube channel. So this has been my way to promote my services. If you watch my videos, you've been seeing that all the time I say, I subscribe to my courses. I have an online school, and this is a good way to communicate people what I'm doing. Because my service, I have to say, is great. I'm very proud of my business. And this has been the way people have been taking courses with me. Then when people were starting to taking courses, I was a mess. And my emails I was getting a lot of emails. Sometimes I even told Dave, I don't want to do this anymore. Why? Because it requires, number one, a lot of organization, a lot. You need to use a lot of platforms to organize yourself, the plans that you have for the every 2 days, and I didn't have that, so that was the first challenge that I faced. You told me that you provided some tools like ClickUp, which is a virtual agenda.
It's a project management platform.
Yes, and that has been very, very helpful, super helpful. So that was the first challenge, and then there has been a lot of challenges. The second challenge was I want to keep improving my service so I can sell more. So there are a lot of different factors I'm going to mention. The first factor was the design. So fortunately, I have, in this case, for designing even the simple things, like to announce my services, I have someone who designs the flyer. So my sister is studying that, and I just told her, hey, can you design this for me? And she said, okay. So the first time wasn't difficult for her. She said, okay, I can do this. But now that the school is growing, she's having a lot of work that I didn't imagine. So that's a job that you can do online.
Well, I think it's a good example that neither of us are designers, so maybe with practice you can get good at it, but we're not going to become designers. We're not familiar with the software. So something that for us would take a long time and probably wouldn't turn out too great for Les. It's just her job. It's just another day's work, and she does it much better and much more efficiently than we can. So it makes much more sense to pay somebody who knows how to do it than to learn it. Like, I think learning new things is very important, but you can't learn everything.
No.
So.
And it's important that you mention that, because sometimes when we want to have our own business, we want to do everything because it's our business. And I think that's wrong, completely wrong, because number one, you don't have the truth of your product. You have to listen to others' opinions. And as you said, you are going to realize that you won't have the time to do everything. You're going to be stressed, and you're going to say what I was saying, I don't want to do this anymore. So you just need to, how can I say this, leave your ego behind and start to trust more people.
So hire people who know better than you how to do certain things, but also at the same time, if you know how to do something like this, like design being an example, just like flyers for social media, posters or thumbnails for YouTube or whatever, there's probably somebody who could use that, who could use your skills, and it would make more sense for them to pay you than to do it themselves. So design's one example. Can you think of any other things?
Yeah, definitely. The other thing was, I already mentioned this, but I'm going to mention it again. It was that I realized that I couldn't teach all the classes. I was going to be crazy if I would do that. So I was very scared, because I was, I need to hire somebody, but I don't have the money. I was thinking like that. And I was very scared to the money. And I think that's another tip. If you're building your business, you need to set a budget very well. You need to organize your finances and you need to start hiring people. So your business, well, it requires a lot of different factors, but that's something that I learned. So I hired 2 teachers. And I was all the time I was thinking, how am I going to pay them? What about if that doesn't work? And it's been how many months? 5?
Something like that, yeah.
5 months that I've been able to pay my teachers, and I still have profit. And start a business like that is, I really feel very, very proud. That's another factor. So I would say it's the same. Start hiring people. And then I'm going to mention another job. And this is interesting as well, because I was very lucky, because I hired a programmer. So you.
Yes.
So small things like people booking a course, they need to receive an email.
Mm-hmm.
They need to receive a link, and at the beginning, I have to say that I was doing it manually.
Yeah.
Imagine. So imagine, that's why it was very crazy. So you show me ways to do it. I already did that. And not only that, you're doing something, you're doing a huge project. What are you doing?
So we're building an app for the business. So this is an example, I think, of something where, as you go through life, you pick up different skills and things, and then, I don't know, I think we're in this business is a way where, what I know and what Karen knows is really complementing each other to make something work. And for example, you know a lot about making videos, about making interesting content, and that helps you to create materials and to market the videos. And I worked for a long time in schools, so I've seen like bigger schools, language schools, and high schools and things. So I've seen how these things need to be administered at scale so that they work. Mm-hmm. But also I've got the skills to enable that through custom programming and custom solutions. So at the moment we're working on an app. Your sister is doing the design for the app. I'm building the app mainly. I've hired some help for that as well, and this app will be the solution for your business in order to market the services, to receive bookings, to manage courses, to use for students to be able to see what they've booked onto. Mm-hmm. And I'm very surprised that other than like italki, there's only big companies where you sign up a profile to do this. Mm-hmm. We were looking for a solution in terms of like booking, taking payments, things like that, which you're using Wix for at the moment, and it's working. But there's nothing on the market which ticks all the boxes of what an online teacher who wants to manage their own business, everything that they need. So we're very excited about this. It should be ready in a few months, a couple of months maybe. And
so we're very excited.
We're very
very excited. We want to show you.
Yeah, it's just not quite ready yet. So at first it will be the basis for Thrive in Spanish, but then maybe we could look into. We want to expand it so that it's not just Thrive in Spanish that uses this software. So we'll see how that works out. But it's a very exciting project, but at the same time, I think it's a good example of, just there's a lot of different skills involved, some of which we have and some of which we know that we don't know, and we need to hire. We're hiring people to help us out with that.
So as much when you're growing your business, you need more people, right? Mm-hmm. Some of the jobs that I would like to mention, very simple jobs, is personal assistant. That's a actually very common and useful job. Mm-hmm. Like somebody reading your emails, doing very small tasks that you'll see that that's very easy to say. I don't know why that person is hiring people to do that. Mm-hmm. But when you have a lot of things to do, mm-hmm. that is super useful, and that could be another job. Very useful job for people who are looking to start working online.
David has asked an interesting question. I thought it was worth interrupting you for. He says, do you ever think about coaching or mentoring transitions into online work? If so, can I be your first customer?
Mentoring?
Yes. Helping people, consulting with, transitioning into working online.
Oh my God! I've never thought of that.
No,
actually,
never done it. We could do it though. If you want to get in touch,
yeah, you can contact.
I'll write it in the chat now.
Mm-hmm.
The
and let's see how it goes. You can set what's the word? The pilot trial. Yeah. What's the word? pilot in
Pilot, yeah.
pilot trial, or do you say that?
Yeah, the pilot scheme.
Pilot scheme. Let's see.
Well, I mean, it is something that we discussed long term, because, you know, once the business once Thrive in Spanish becomes a bit more successful, and, you know, maybe it's a bit more self-sustaining, then it would be interesting to look into helping people set up businesses or...
Oh my God, yeah, definitely. And especially, and this is a video, I know that I'm going to for another way, but I'm just going to mention it very briefly, especially for Latin American people.
Right.
Because I don't know why, but a lot of people here think, I used to think this way, that we are not capable to start a business or to work online. We have really low self-esteem. And even and more women. I don't know if that's related with sexism or what, but that's something that I'm really, really interested in helping in the future. So yes, definitely.
And somebody else has mentioned, he says he's waiting for your new Spanish lesson offering more flexible times.
Oh my God. We already know that we have a problem. We know
a limitation,
not
a problem.
Yes. We are working on that. That's our next step. That you are working on that platform. We are working in order to have ways that you can book whenever you want, but not only that. I'm working. Should I tell them or?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to tell them about.
Okay.
I'm working on courses, virtual courses, but I don't think they are just only virtual courses. It's just you're gonna have the information, me speaking to you, games, exercises, but then in the course you'll have the opportunity to talk to me at your time. Maybe you're working all day long, and at night you want to watch a video of me teaching you Spanish. You watch the video and you have questions, or you want to practice with me. Well, you'll have the chance to reply to that video.
And how do they reply?
Well, we are using a platform. Do you want me to?
Yeah. But how does it work? Because this sounds like any online course.
This is kind of difficult to explain. Okay, so there's a platform that I already use actually in my courses, where it's called Flipgrid, where I usually start with a video teaching you something, showing you something that we can do in Mexico. Then I always tell you, reply. You have to reply. How are you going to reply? Practicing. How are you going to reply? Well, in that platform is a very interactive, easy platform where you have the option. There will be a button where you are going to reply, answering whatever you want to answer or whatever I told you to answer. And I'm going to watch that video.
But what is the reply? How do you reply?
How do you reply?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like they press
do you
the
write?
button?
Do you write?
No. Record. Sorry. Yes, I didn't say that. Recording yourself with video, everything. You can be cooking, and then it's very easy. You can use it on your phone. You just press the button and start talking, basically, and you stop. You stop the button. Send the video. I will receive it. I will watch your video, and I will reply.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is a limitation or a challenge that teaching online poses, and this is the reason that I had to wake up at 4:00 in the morning to teach the Chinese kids, is that you have this. You have your potential customers, potential students all over the world, but time zones are a big factor, and both people need to be connected at the same time to have a traditional class. So, and this is something where there's something like programming or something like copywriting or design, it doesn't really matter. Like you can, if your client's asleep while you're working, then it doesn't make any difference. Whereas with teaching, this is something to be able to teach a traditional class, and you're much more limited. And we found that a lot of people were very interested in learning with you, but you can't be teaching 24 hours a day, and time zones are an issue, and you only have 3 teachers, so this is
kind of a limitation. But not only that, sorry.
No.
In the future, the idea is to have many teachers, so you can have a private session if you want at your own time, and not only that, I will be having live courses too. So I will put, okay, next course is going to start this date at this time, and then you already have the virtual course. So if you want to practice, let's say class 5 only, you will have the chance to connect to that class. And if we have more, when I have more teachers at different times, there will be more live classes. So you'll have the option to choose the perfect time for you. So that problem won't exist.
Yeah. So, but this is something that when you're starting a business, offering services online, or just working online in general, these new challenges emerge, and this is a way that that we're being able to offer the same service to people who aren't necessarily always available at the same time. And this is something that other people are going to face challenges and limitations that wouldn't be the case in a traditional work setting, if you're on the premises or something like that.
Yeah. So what else? Is there anything else?
Well, I wanted to ask you what does a day look like for you? How do you organize your week? How does La Cadencita make her money?
Interesting. Okay. A normal day for me is, currently I have my days organized. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I focused on my platform on teaching Spanish. So all my time is managing my teachers, their courses, customer service. I still do that. And this is another thing that I would like to hire, someone that I would like to hire in the future, but because it takes a lot of time, and that's the things that I do. At late Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I focus on my YouTube channel. I focus on making videos, so I need to be faster. This is another thing that I want to do. I want to hire a guy who edits videos. So if you are interested in editing videos, let me know. Because it's taken me a lot of time. Editing a video takes quite a lot of time. I love editing videos. That's a job that's something that I think I'm gonna still doing in once in a while, if I have somebody to help me, but it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time. Now I'm learning to advertise my services on Google Ads and on Facebook. This is another job actually that you can start. You can learn about CEO is called, right? SEO. Something like that. And then how to positionate.
How to position? How to get good rankings, good search rankings for content and
content for a video, for example, how to learn. So how people can learn to how people can watch your video, can have access to your video in this case, or to have the knowledge to put a lot of advertisements for any product. And that is a very well paid job.
It can be, because if you can get people more sales, then as long as you're getting more sales than you're getting paid, then it doesn't really matter how much you ask for.
And the thing is that tools are free online.
It's all free.
It's all free.
But it's confusing. It's not easy. It's not easy to pick up. I think with time and stuff, anybody could probably learn it. But when you're busy with other parts of the business, and
that's why I haven't done it, because I haven't had the time to focus really, really well. But it's something that I'm very, very interested in knowing, because the plan in the future is we want to advertise our services, the courses, the platform. And I don't want, if I hire someone, I want them to see that I know what I'm talking about, right? How, at least, what is the procedure? Not very specific, but I don't know. It's my business. I think it's important to know at least a little bit of every part of your business.
This is true. But when I think about your business, the business that's been set up, and all of the skills that are involved, and all of the things that we can't learn all of it. I see that there's I don't know, 6 or 7 jobs if the money was there, that
exactly.
You could easily hire.
And just for the business that I'm doing, right?
So if you think about the number of small businesses that are out there, if you can offer a service like that, be it design, be it automation. I did a lot of process automation when I was working on Upwork. Google Analytics and SEO and Google Ads management and accounting,
of course,
editing,
oh my God,
content creation, just
social media manager is very important as well.
And a few years ago, I wouldn't have thought that. I wouldn't have considered that there was so much demand for these kinds of skills, but now that we're in a position where we need those skills, it seems so obvious. And we know a lot of people who kind of work in these areas remotely, and they're able to work online. People live wherever they want in the world.
So there are many possibilities. And if you don't like that, you can always try OnlyFans. So any skill that you have, maybe you say I don't have any skill to know about. I don't want to learn about programming or advertisements, but I know how to make, I don't know, pillows. And you have something that you can do and sell online. Your business needs to be online nowadays, and you have to start ways to sell your product. Right? Right.
I think it's very easy to look at things like, I need a job, so therefore I need, if I want to be a programmer, then I need to apply for a programming job, or I need a degree in order to be able to do this. And it's not necessarily the case. If you can learn how to do something and charge an appropriate price, then there's probably somebody who's willing to pay you for it. And you can just do it. It's like a YouTube channel. You can, if you've got a phone, you could start a YouTube channel. It doesn't mean you're going to make any money, but but there's nothing to stop you from trying if you want to.
Is there any questions? Actually, there must be.
There are some, yeah. Joker says, "Is your sister single?"
She's not married.
Very diplomatic. So TRM, who's been talking about the courses, he says he's an instructional designer, so he's familiar with Flipgrid and he knows
Oh my God.
So it'll be interesting. He says he's coming to Querétaro, so
Really?
we'll have to get in touch.
Get in touch with where? Maybe Instagram. I'm very bad with Instagram actually.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't read the message, but you can send an email to me. Contact. I always forget arroba in English.
At.
Contact at lakarencita.com. I will answer.
She, TRM is a she, sorry.
Sorry.
J and L Moreno says he's starting to think about working online from here in Mexico. Not sure where to start. He's bilingual but prefers a job in English because you can earn more normally.
So work online, well, you have an advantage.
If you can speak English.
Yeah, definitely. You can. This is something that I want you to tell you guys is this world moves in the English language. I don't know how to say it. I've seen a lot of my Mexicans who don't speak English, and that is a limitation. Of course, there are a lot of jobs online in Spanish, definitely. I won't say that they're not. But if you know both, it's like all of a sudden the world opens. If you are bilingual and if you're in Mexico, oh my God, there's a lot of opportunities that you can do. Set a business to help. Actually, I want to mention an example. I met the other day a lady who is selling insurance. And their business, she was hired by a Mexican company, and she said, okay, my Mexican company said I just need to sell insurance. And then I started to think, there are a lot of foreigners who are living in Querétaro, who are coming to Querétaro and are retired. Why would I focus, and she said it like that, why would I focus on the Mexican audience, Mexican public, where we know that there's a culture in Mexico where you don't like to prevent yourself. So it's very and also the money,
It's
right?
expensive,
It's
yeah.
expensive. So she said that she was going to focus only in the foreign community, and she's doing great. So what I want to say is that she took advantage of something that she was already doing, and just offered the same service to
a new audience, or do it in a more creative way. And this is the same as what I guess both of us have done.
Yes.
You were teaching Spanish, and then it was a matter of starting a business doing that. And I knew how to program, and I was able to start a business. So it's difficult to. You can't say for everyone, "Oh, you should do this," but it's just the fact that there are opportunities everywhere.
Yeah.
If you are a bit more open to them, and it can be very difficult at the start. When you started teaching teaching Spanish, it was, it took a long time for you to start making good money.
And also the confidence is very important as well, because at the beginning it's like, I suppose many people feel like that. It happened to you as well.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So is this skill enough so people can hire me? Because you don't have somebody to measure you.
Yes, so like if you're in a job, then you're surrounded by people doing the same thing.
You start comparing yourself.
But if you haven't got anyone to compare yourself with, it's easy to doubt yourself because you don't know. Is it going well, or is it not going well? Am I doing a good job
or not? Nobody is telling me. If you have clients, it means that it's working, right?
But it's not as easy as just saying like, oh, I'm going to do this, and then day one I'm going to have loads of clients and loads of money. But if you don't start doing it, then you'll never have clients and lots of money. So there's a lot of opportunity out there, and I think we're seeing more and more
it's common. It's even more common nowadays. I'm super surprised, super surprised by that. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
that's yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Okay.
Any other question? Do you know?
TRM says she's going to be at the presentation you're doing with the backpacking brunettes community.
Yeah. Stephanie. But what did she say? Can you read it? Yeah. Yes. I'm going to be at Alex online
Event? I don't know.
Like event. I don't know how to call it. Alex is a woman who's living in. This is another great example.
Yeah.
Alex is a woman who's living here in Querétaro as well. She makes videos on YouTube, and I think she's focused on teaching foreigners how to live well in Mexico, right? And she created a space, a virtual community where I'm not sure, but she gives material. Somebody speaks every month about very useful information about Mexico, and that's another way, because she knows something, she knows how to do something, and she created a community, right?
Yeah, and it's something. There was a demand for something like that, and that's why she's successful.
Yeah.
A lot of people come here and they, it's scary moving to another country and it's confusing, and if somebody can help you out and show you the way a little bit, and you have to pay a little bit of money, then a lot of people see a lot of value in that.
Yeah, definitely. So that's another great example. We've met a few Mexicans here where they offer their services. If you want to rent a house in Mexico, for example, they know how to do it. Immigration, anything, basic. Tour guides.
Yeah, we're going on a tour tomorrow with a guy who's starting a business doing that, so that'd be very interesting.
I'm going to make a video about that, actually, just to show you the foreign community and local things that you can do in the city where I live, if you're interested. I
have a question.
Yes.
Do you ever miss working a traditional job in an office?
That's a good question. Okay, so yes.
Yes, you do miss it.
Yes.
Yes. Why?
Because when you have a traditional job, you have the opportunity to have a community. It's I'm gonna say a community. You go to your job, you talk to people about work. It doesn't matter, but you have something in common. And then you can talk about the problems, like, this isn't working. Oh my God, what are we going to do? And I miss that a lot. Now it's changing, fortunately, because I have my two teachers, so we have once in a while meetings. I think it's very important. But I felt alone. I felt very, very alone, and this is something that people don't tell you. People just say, working as, having your own business, being a digital nomad is great, but people feel alone. I don't know. Have you felt that?
Because now I work. It's kind of like a normal job. It's just remote that I do at the moment. So I have a team, and we. And the good thing about my job is that periodically they send us to Mexico City, or we're going to San Miguel de Allende soon, and everybody can meet up and get to know each other, because that is an issue. If you don't, if you're working with people that and you get on with, then you're going to enjoy your job more, and you're going to be more productive.
Yes.
But when I was working just as a freelancer, definitely, because I wasn't I never took on any other help, so I never built up a team on my end. So the people that I was talking to were always clients, and you can get on well with your clients, but it's a little bit of a different relationship.
Yeah, definitely. It's not the same. It's definitely not. And I would say another thing is that it requires a lot of not another big difference in an office and having your own job, that it's I have to say that I missed it, is that you don't have the full responsibility when you work in an office. You have a very specific job that you have to do, and if you don't do it, let's be honest, nothing is going to happen, because there are many people working for that company too, and you don't feel the pressure. Like, you finish your work Friday, and then you forget about your job, right? When you have your own business, your own clients, your own project, you never rest. You never rest. And even though you want to rest, it's like your baby. You're thinking all the time. You are thinking all the time in that, and you're thinking, what am I going to do next? And at the beginning, I have to say that I didn't enjoy that. I was very scared. I was very scared because I wasn't organized. I was very scared because I was thinking all the time in, what about if I don't make money this month? I was very scared because the responsibility was mine, only mine. If I didn't do this, everything was going to fail. So in a certain way, I'm not saying that's bad. I'm saying that you have to learn it, and people have to tell you this, because otherwise you're going to give up. You're going to think it's very difficult, right?
Yeah, Kay Sunnywold agrees. They said, I don't really have much of a team, so I agree. It's easy to get isolated and not to be able to meet and talk to people.
Yes, I think that's a problem that happens to a lot of people who are in this working online, right? Right. Yes. Well, so far we've covered different kind of jobs. What are the downsides? How can you start? Well, I already told you. We told you our experience. And I told you my experience about setting up a business too, so that might be helpful, I think. If you have any other question, drop it now, because I think we're very close to finish this live stream.
We are. But I wanted to ask you again, because you're talking about being a digital nomad.
Yeah.
What is the reality of being a digital nomad like? Do you like being a digital nomad? Would you like to move around more? What's your current opinion? Because I know it changes.
Well, first of all, what is a digital nomad? Right?
Somebody who moves around but is working online to finance their lifestyle.
That sounds great, isn't it?
Yeah,
like
definitely.
you're able to travel.
Seemed like a dream when we were both working in an office and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was very, very jealous of people. I would always think, why are they traveling again? Right? And I can understand why I used to think that way. It's cool, definitely. It's cool that we are able to, that people who are digital nomads are able to travel, are able to be at the beach and traveling. That sounds really, really great. Or are able to be living in another country and meeting incredible people too. It has a lot of advantages, that's true. But it's not, what's the phrase? Like miel sobre hojuelas.
I don't know what it is.
It's not always perfect. Why? Because if you're a digital nomad, you need to start considering other factors. If you want to keep moving around it's not easy. It's not easy. It's you have to think in since carrying your backpack, your suitcases, every time you're moving, at the beginning it's exciting. But then you after the fifth time, sixth time, you just say, I just want to go. I just want to arrive to the next apartment, and I want to rest. And you sometimes you don't even see the beach for 2 days because you are tired. You just want to rest. And not only that, if you're in a very, very nice, cool place, but you have to work. You have to work. You are in that cool place. You're tired. You haven't seen the beach, and you have to work. So you spend the whole time in your apartment.
And you have to work more because it's more expensive than staying at home.
Or because you already spent for that flight.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is the thing. Yeah, short-term Airbnbs are more expensive. You have to pay for the flights and the taxis, and you have to buy an expensive sandwich at the airport because
because you're hungry, because you haven't eaten.
So then you need to earn more money to pay for all of that.
Exactly. And then you are at the place and you're tired. You don't even have time to enjoy it because you have to work. So that's the thing that has happened to us actually.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's just sometimes it feels like you're just traveling just to travel, but then when you get there, you've got to work. Maybe you have a day to explore,
but that doesn't feel great either.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking, oh, I need to do this. Okay, I have this day, but the day after this, I have to finish my projects. It's not like you're not on vacations.
Definitely not.
No, you don't enjoy the same way. Even though it's great, this is still great.
Yeah.
That's why we like long vacations. Long, very, very long. That's why we took 2 months in Colombia and we enjoyed it very much.
We enjoyed it a lot, but definitely the second month we stayed almost the entire month in Manizales.
In the same
very,
city.
Very short trips. We went to Salento, but that was the only time we stayed away. Because the first month we were working all week, and every weekend we go and do this, go to Cartagena, go to Minca, and they're all really, really great things. But it's very tiring.
It's very tiring.
Because the weekend is the time that you rest, and if you're very busy on the weekend, then you're very tired.
And then something started to happen to me. If you saw, I wasn't uploading videos every week because I felt like I had my time reduced. I needed to take days to see Colombia, and I wasn't editing because I was traveling. And then the thing that was happening to me is that when I was enjoying a place, when we weren't working, I was getting fed up recording. I didn't want to record all the time because that was my time for the time for ourselves. Because recording is a job. It's very tiring. So
that lifestyle, or that trip definitely had an effect on your productivity because of that, and then obviously that has an impact on your income for that time because if you're making less videos, if you're not able to teach as many classes because you're too busy, then one, you're spending more money, but also it's difficult to bring in the same amount of money, and then that itself becomes more stressful. So.
But even though, what are you thinking now? Would you like to keep living this way?
Well, so this is something that the people who are watching, maybe you could make a video on this. It's a conversation that we constantly have. And we can never decide what the best thing is because you think, well, we're fairly young, we have the means and the freedom to do anything really. I mean, obviously there are limitations, but you know we could see more countries. We can take better advantage of what of this freedom of being able to work from different places. But at the same time, we're very tired, and
and we're not doing well. We're doing a lot.
We're doing a lot. Yeah, hang on, I'm going to turn this light on
because it's cloudy now. But this is one of the reasons of sometimes I tell Dave, I would love to renovate a house. We would love to have a house and renovate it.
Yeah. We nearly did. Oh, Neil Piper's here.
Neil Piper, hi. But 10 minutes later, are we going to Colombia again? So that's our mind.
Yeah, and also, I mean, this shouldn't be a big factor, but in terms of cost of living and stuff like that, like Querétaro is not cheap.
No.
And you think, oh, Colombia was a bit cheaper. Vietnam was a bit cheaper. Maybe you could go a bit further. Work a bit less or whatever. But it's not all about. It's not all about that, and I think being comfortable and being a bit more settled in a place is also.
It's great.
It's great.
It feels great. It feels great also to have a community, to have friends in the place where you're living.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that a lot of digital nomads, there are a lot of videos about that they say it's cool traveling, but you don't have you're not rooted to that place, so you don't go and hang out with the friends that you've been meeting forever.
Mm-hmm.
You still hang out with people but that you just met, I don't know, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And it's fun, but it's different.
You can, you meet a lot more people, maybe more diverse group of people, but your relationships, it's more difficult to form more than superficial relationships if
you don't have jokes, you don't have
if you're not seeing people on a regular basis. So we can never decide what we want to do. From one week to the next, I want to go back to Colombia, or I want to stay here and buy a house, or I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. So far, we are doing great. We're working.
Yeah, we're working. We're going to be here for a little while.
Yeah, Querétaro is a great place to live. We are in love of the city, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other question, or should we finish?
Well, we can finish, but I just wanted to mention some of the nice comments that we've received.
Mm-hmm.
So quite a few people have said they've enjoyed the conversation. I've enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you very much. I've enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
There's some people asking, will this video stay up?
Yes, actually we are. I'm planning to make more live streams and talking about, I don't know, whatever we want, and different topics that we are thinking, that we consider, even social topics that are happening in Mexico, that are happening in Mexico or that happen in Mexico. I'm very interested in that. So we're going to buy good microphones.
Yeah, we want to invest in some equipment specifically to make.
So we are going to look professional.
Yeah, to make the live streams a little bit more engaging and a little bit more professional. So then they can act as like a podcast, or like a permanent fixture in the channel.
Yes. So probably that's something that we're going to do. And this
we need to do this now because we've got to buy some equipment.
And let me mention this. This is another thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult to be traveling with all your equipment.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't have in a lot of equipment, because it's all the time in my mind, we're going to travel, I don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But that's a good thing when you have a house, when you have that sofa where you can just relax. That's good too. That's good. So
hang on, what else? The Crusader of Christ has left a few messages. Very nice of him. he says, first of all, he knows more about Mexico because of you. So that's very nice. He says, is Mexican culture almost the same as Spanish culture? I don't know. We don't know much about Spain. I think it's quite different. But
probably. Look, can you read this? I really like this comment.
Mm-hmm.
It's from David. The contentment is longer.
Mm-hmm. Longer lasting than happiness. My wife and I have had the same conversations, and we have standard 9-to-5 jobs. Yeah, I think it's very true. We're discovering it more and more. The more we kind of travel and try to. Well, I don't know, because I really enjoyed Colombia and stuff, but it's very tiring.
Yeah, I really want to visit Asia again.
I think the secret is to be very, very rich, so then you don't have to work, and you can just travel a lot, and you don't feel tired because you don't have other commitments. I think we next year we'll try to achieve a bit more of a balance, so we can take advantage of our situation, but without wearing ourselves out, and make sure that we enjoy things a bit more.
Okay.
And there's just one more comment. What if there are outages and you can't work online? Like, what happens if the internet goes off, or if the electricity goes off?
Okay. What was the word?
Outages.
Outages. Okay. And I didn't know that word. Yes, a good question, actually. That's another thing that you have to consider when you're traveling, actually.
Especially when you're traveling. Yeah.
Especially when you're traveling. And that's something that is very tiring too.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if you have any problem, electricity, internet connection, when you're at home, when you are settled down in a place, you already figured that out. Mm-hmm. Maybe you have a SIM card with unlimited internet connection.
I've known people who've had 2 internet providers to be super safe.
Or I don't know, you go with your neighbor and can I borrow your password? Something like that. You already have it figured it out. When you're traveling, you don't know the area where you are, and that's something that you need to start thinking once you're there, because you can it's very difficult to even do some research.
You can ask the Airbnb owner, but they're always going to say, yeah, the internet's great, everyone's working online, and then you get there and it's not the case. This is what happened to us in Taganga in Colombia.
And I didn't enjoy it, and you have to spend more money, right, to solve the problem quickly. So we have here William Goods.
He's supporting the whole channel.
He's supporting you're supporting the whole channel, William. Thank you, William, very much. Hi, Ruby. Hi, Dave. Can you read it for me,
yes,
please?
I just discovered that you're on. We only just decided to do this morning. Any more videos of your Playa del Carmen trip being edited for our pleasure? It's a good question. I don't know. Are you doing any more comments?
Well, actually not. I think I finished my videos about Playa del Carmen. You just connected, William, but I was saying that actually this is a good example. It was a little bit difficult for me to make more videos in Playa del Carmen because I was working, but I'm have very interesting videos in the future that you are going to enjoy, William. You're going to enjoy them. It's going to be very interesting. I'm going to show you my audience, you guys, more about the place where I live, a little bit of history, people, and my mother-in-law is coming too.
My mom's coming next week on Thursday.
Yes, she wants to see everything. She wants to know how she can manage doing by herself. That's the word. So I will be recording that. I'm super excited about.
And she has to speak good Spanish because she's been taking part in your Spanish courses. So we'll see how her Spanish reflects
Oh
on
my
your
God.
teaching when you're filming it.
It's a lot of pressure. That's not fair. So, okay.
Yeah, we've got a couple more comments.
Okay, and then we can finish.
And then we'll finish. Yeah. John Weaver says he's coming to Querétaro over the winter, and he'll send an email to get in touch.
Yes, good idea. Let's see what we can do. I can take you to my. It depends. Do you like to eat? Do you like to drink? We can take you somewhere. Okay.
And one that made me laugh at the end. Cosmo Scary, make money online. I hope you aren't selling crypto.
Make money online. I hope you aren't selling crypto.
I did think that when I saw your thumbnail. It looks like we're trying to sell.
Really?
You too can live the dream.
Oh my God! You should have told me. That wasn't a good title.
I don't know. We'll see. This is the only person who's mentioned it, but I just thought.
I was thinking more of this is going to be this title is more inspirational, so that's why I put it.
Okay.
But I can change it in the future. Okay. What else?
Jose's been also a big supporter of the channel.
Yes.
He says an ebook on the journey to becoming a digital nomad might prove profitable.
That would be
It's not a
good
bad
too.
idea,
No, it's not a bad idea.
It just involves time. So.
That's the problem. There's a lot of many things we want to do. Really, many.
Yeah.
And we don't have the time.
Yeah.
But that's a good idea actually. You like writing too.
I like writing. Yeah, I could do it, but it's just finding the time. When
we are going to find time soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
When I don't know when. One day. One day we will.
Your mom is here.
She's here. She's her comments aren't showing up on my phone. I don't know why.
Yeah. Okay.
She's inviting herself onto a live stream now.
Who?
My mom.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God, that would be interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, with your mom. So you're going to speak Spanish, Jill. Let's prove. So, okay, we're very excited to Jill. I think you're going to enjoy Querétaro very much. It's a good city. There are a lot of people, foreigners living here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what about if we finish this live stream?
Yes,
for
I think
now?
so, because we're hungry.
We're hungry. I hope you enjoyed this live stream, guys. I think we covered quite a few interesting topics, tips about being. I think we broke some paradigms about I want to say about being digital nomad. I mean, we talk about the downsides, and we talk about our journey as well. So thank you for being here. I hope this was helpful for you. If you want to contact me, I already said it. You can contact me on contact at lakarencita.com. And that's it.
Yep, that's
Okay.
it. Okay.
Thank you, Dave, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
Yes.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye.
Bye.